Well, here we go, another edition of Sports Blab. I have a lot on my mind, lots of sports going on in the sports world, lots of stuff going on in the Minnesota sports scene. So I'm just gonna kind of talk here about all these different things that are on my mind, and let's just go for it. Okay, let's start with the Minnesota Twins. They were hot for a while, 13-game winning streak, and now they're kind of on a losing streak. Injuries are not helping. Two of their best pitchers, Pablo Lopez and Xavi Matthews, out, shoulder strain. I know for Lopez it could be like 2 months, maybe 3 months. Not quite sure on Xavi Matthews. Other injuries that have hurt the Twins. Royce Lewis, remember he started the first 2 months of the year with a pulled hamstring that he pulled during spring training on a routine ground ball, running to first. And then Matt Wallner was out for a month or two. There's other injuries too, but so the Twins are kind of on a losing streak, but they win, they get hot, then they go down, then they get hot, they go down. They're kind of very up and down, very up and down. 9 games out of first place against Detroit, last I looked. Might be something different now. Wild card. In my opinion, they have the talent. They have the talent. I mean, they picked up some good pickups during the offseason, from Ty France to Bader to, they picked up Cody Clemens. By the way, here's a little trivia thing for you regarding Cody Clemens. His name Cody, the first name is spelled K-O-D-Y. As you can probably figure out, he is the son of legendary Red Sox and Yankee pitcher Roger Clemens. Roger, I think, has 3 sons, and all of their first names start with a K, so he's got KKK. Pretty clever, huh? Anyways, he's doing well. We have the hitters. Correa's been out with an injury too. But here's my big concern about the Twins. A lot of these injuries, now the pitchers are a little bit different ball game. Shoulder strain, tightness, whatever. I mean, pitching motion is hard on the shoulder, the rotor cuff. So I get that, but like Royce Lewis, I think Correa for a while, Matt Wallner, other people, they're going out with hamstring strains. Hamstring strain is another word for they have a tight hamstring, they probably pulled it or strained it. My concern is, I'll just take Royce Lewis. For the second time, he's out with a hamstring strain. And he's just doing routine running. In spring training, it was a routine ground ball running to first. I just find it hard to believe that Major League professional baseball players that are in tip-top shape should be experiencing so many hamstring strains. When I hear the word strain, I think it's probably tight. That leads me to wonder, what kind of training program are they on? I know Royce Lewis in particular likes to get to the ballpark 5 hours early and do a heavy workout. But again, he was just starting to get his mojo back, and now out again with a hamstring strain. So is he overdoing it? Do the Twins not have enough robust plan to prevent hamstring strains? Like I said, him, Wallner, I think Correa for a while, other people. Maybe they should all take up yoga. I know I've had my own hamstring tightness problems myself, so I know that it's a long process and it's not easy. Those hamstrings are tough to keep them limber, but something has to be done, because I don't think hamstring strains to that level, that frequency, should be happening. Anyways, let's hope the Twins can get their pitchers back. They're doing the best they can, calling people up. It's on to the Vikings. J.J. McCarthy is their man. As you know, Aaron Rodgers signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Vikings, and they went overdrive on their defensive line, especially the offensive line, which I'm so proud of. I'm giving them kudos for offensive line. They signed Will Fries, Ryan Kelly. They got Donovan Jackson out of Ohio State, first-round pick. They just signed another guy who was a beast in college, SEC player. They got School as a backup. They keep adding to their offensive line. They are taking it seriously. Now, I know for some reason they never really like Dalton Risner that well, and I think the reason because he's super good on pass protecting, but not nearly as good in run protection, or on the run, creating openings for the running backs. I know they signed Jordan Mason as a quote-unquote backup to Aaron Jones, who they signed to a 2-year contract. but they've indicated they want to do a running back by committee, which I think it should give Aaron Jones more catches and more runs. But then again, yes, injuries. He was nagged by some nagging injuries. With a 17-game season, especially if you get into the playoffs, it's a long season. And they're looking at Detroit, who's got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Detroit showed the world how to do a running back by committee effectively. So we have that. Aaron Jones is bought in. Mason's bought in. KOC, he said that's the direction they're going. I'm all for it. Cornerback, we're always looking to add, but Isaiah Rodgers, safety, we re-signed Theo Jackson to a 3-year deal. We picked up McLaughlin. I think they're going to look to do more. They picked up a couple other picks in free agency with cornerbacks. Okuda, I think they got their eyes on another guy too. Anyways, I'm pretty happy, and they'll keep adding. But I think they're expecting a lot of Isaiah Rodgers, and they should because he's young. He rotated last year with the Eagles on the Super Bowl winning team because they had a plethora of cornerbacks, and they've shown that rotating does a lot. And you know, Brian Flores, his defense has a lot of moving parts. Linebacker core, great. One addition that I'm really happy about is Eric Wilson. Didn't like to see him leave last year. Came back this year. Vikings signed him. Hargrave and Allen should add to that defensive line and just cause nothing but trouble. And remember, we got Gabe Murphy, Bo Richtard, sitting in reserve, and we got other guys that can rotate in. I think they're going to go more for as Harrison Phillips said, a rotational defensive line, much like the Eagles do, to keep the guys fresh over a 17-game season. Onto the Wild. Top priority, they're going to sign Kaprizov to probably a record-breaking contract. Yippee skippy, keep him here. They don't seem to like Marco Rossi. He led our team during the regular season in goals and points, and granted that was with Kaprizov out, a chunk of it injured. They kind of demoted him to the fourth line for the playoffs. I think they just think he isn't physical enough, but he certainly has scoring talent. And so they did actually make him a 5-year offer, but he turned it down last year, middle of the season. He wanted more money, and that's the issue, is how much do they want to pay him? And they always seem to be hot and cold, wishy-washy on Rossi. So what I'm hoping is they trade him, get some good value for him, and they're looking at 3 other they said they want to add center and wing. Well, they signed Yurov from Russia, KHL. He's normally a center, but they're going to move him to wing, but maybe he should play center. And then instead of going after these 3 centers, Toews, Tavares, who are somewhat aging, maybe they put Yurov as center and they go focus on the wing. Now, in terms of the center, they were looking at maybe Sam Bennett, the Panthers. But it sounds like he wants to stay in Florida. So anyways, what are we on to now? Oh, the Timberwolves. Looks like we, last year in the playoffs, Nikhil Walker-Alexander, who's the cousin of SGA, didn't do all that great. But this year he did great. But now, because he did so much better this year, especially in the playoffs, he's probably going to leave for bigger money because in these days there's no loyalty. Question is, there's rumors about Kevin Durant. Are we going to trade Rudy Gobert and some other package of players and draft picks for Durant? Well, remember, he's 37, 38 years old. So how many more years are you going to get out of him? Unless you want to win next year and that's it. I don't think they should mortgage the future. But the Timberwolves, they learned playing Oklahoma, and Tim Connelly, the president, said, we have to learn to adapt to what the other team is doing. And if you look at the Indiana Pacers, Halliburton said in the playoffs, we can't play the same style of play and the same offense because OKC is too good and we'll pick up on it and stop it. So we have to keep changing our rotations, our plan, our style. So far it's okay, so it's 2-2. So, so 2-2. Pacers and OKC. Truthfully, I want the Pacers to win, and it's not because OKC beat the Timberwolves. I just like the comeback story and the underdog story that the Pacers present. And it's 2-2. They each have done to the other what the other's done to them. comeback at the last minute, blah, blah, good defense, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I got to say, I can't even say his name, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the cousin of Nikhil Walker-Alexander. Anyways, he gets away with murder on those fouls, and we all know it, and he knows it too. Everybody knows it. OKC knows it. Their head coach knows it. So I was watching the game the other day. The Pacers guy merely had his hand like that. So SGA started, he likes to go forward and do a fade out. Started the shooting motion, foul on the guy. All he did is have his hand barely on there. So he gets a bunch of free throws, which is like, might as well just give him the points. So a few plays later, OKC had the ball again, and then SGA took his arm and just rammed the other guy. I know you can put your elbow, but he just stepped into it and hit him hard and knocked him back. And the announcer said should be an offensive foul, but did they call it? No. I do believe SGA gets special treatment, and that's one of the reasons I want the Pacers to win. Plus, Stephen A. Smith says, Tyrese Halliburton, he's not a superstar. I mean, yeah, you make big plays and big moments, but that doesn't make you a superstar. Well, to a degree, I disagree. Isn't that kind of the definition of superstar? You make big plays and big moments and carry your team on your back, which Halliburton has done. Anyways, I want the Pacers to win. On to the Stanley Cup. Florida just won last night. They're ahead 3-2. Even series. You saw the other night where Florida scored 3 goals in the first period. Edmonton came back, scored 3 more goals in the second period. Tie game. With about 4 minutes left in the game, Edmonton scored, went ahead 4-3. Florida tied it with 19 seconds left. Tie the game overtime, and then Edmonton won it in overtime. But last night's game, Edmonton couldn't make that comeback. They score, Florida scores. What I like about Florida, they get people in front of the net. One of my biggest complaints about NHL, hockey in general, whether it's college, NHL, playoffs, whatever, is they pass too much. They don't shoot. They have a nice angle to shoot, and then they decide to pass it. And they pass so much, try to be fancy, they lose the puck and don't get a shot off. Drives me bananas, especially on the power play. You see it over and over and over. But what I like is Florida has been getting more people to the net. And then Gretzky pointed out when they're on the penalty kill, normally you have 2 guys up front and then 2 in the back, right? Or 3 up front, 1 in the back by the goalie. They did the reverse. They had 1 up front and 3 in the back. And that's a new style of defense for the penalty kill. And Edmonton didn't know how to handle it and wasn't adjusting. The other thing is Edmonton likes to get the puck to, I guess it'd be the lower left circle with Connor McDavid, who kind of shoots the puck in, and they try to get people in front. Well, Gretzky pointed out that Florida has prevented that play, but Edmonton is not adjusting. It's not working. They have to do something different. So whether it's basketball, NBA Finals, or Stanley Cup, they have to make adjustments on the fly between periods during the game. Study the film, see these situations, and adjust. My 2 cents worth. Let's talk the Black Hills of South Dakota. I took a little vacation there with some siblings and family members and whatever not too long ago. And isn't adventure and travel and vacation kind of a sport? It is. So for those of you that don't know about the Black Hills on the western side of South Dakota, I'll pull up a map. It's where Mount Rushmore is, right here. Right here, Mount Rushmore on my shirt. We went and it was rainy and cloudy the whole time. So I'm going to show you a picture of Mount Rushmore kind of from the side of it. You just barely see Washington. And when it's foggy, you can't see really anything. But the Black Hills is so fun. Of course, about 50 miles before there is a little town called Wall with the famous Wall Drug. It's a tourist stop, tourist trap, gotta go. Show you a picture. But in the Black Hills, you've got like the Needles Highway, Sylvan Lake, Harney's Peak, now called Black Elk Peak, Cathedral Spires. So I'm going to just throw up a couple pictures just to give you a little idea. That Black Elk Peak, that hike is about 3.5 mile hike one way. It's one of the great hikes in America. Everyone should take that hike. It's an old ranger station up there, old park ranger station. I'll throw up a picture. I didn't go on the hike because it was rainy and cloudy, but I've done it a couple, 3 times before. I'll look for a picture and throw up a picture of Harney's Peak. So Black Hills, South Dakota, the area is known for the old 1800 mining towns. I took it to a mine, won the 1880 train, that kind of thing. So I went on the Needles Highway, the wildlife loop, etc., etc. I'll pull up pictures. Anyways, that's all for now. The tips are over and out.